Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Queen Bees Chronicles Momcast. I'm Shantae.
And I'm Tracy. And today, we're just gonna. Oh, we got a story for you. So today we are going to talk about. We're gonna discuss or tell you the birth story of my latest grandchild, who was born on December 5th, 2023. Okay, so you ready? You ready?
I am ready.
All
I
right.
am.
Well, let's do it. All right. So here is the birth story of Selena, who is my granddaughter, who was born on December 5th, 2023. You wanna?
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and tell the infamous story. Okay, so she was born on the 5th, so the morning of the 5th, I had told my mom, I was like, hey, I was having well, actually, she asked me, let me be correct. She had asked me, was I having any contractions? And I was like, oh yeah, I was having some throughout the night, but they had never got consistent enough to be like, hey, it's time to get our stuff and start heading to the hospital. It never got to that point because it was about 8 minutes apart. Then they started going to 10 minutes apart, and they just kept getting further and further apart. So then I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. So then the morning comes, and I want to say the first time I had said something, it was like 9:50-ish, somewhere around there, because I was tracking them on my app, and I'm like, okay, they're still not consistent enough, but these things hurt. Like, they hurt really bad. And my mom, she looked over, she was like, no, well, wait a while, you don't look like you're quite ready yet. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'll just chill out and just keep fighting the good fight, I guess. And it had been like that for some hours, because even up until it was too late, they still weren't consistent enough to be like, hey, it's time to go to the hospital. Because, normally they say they're within 5 minutes of each other for an hour, start heading to the hospital. It never even got to that point. So hours go by, and I want to say it was around maybe 5 something in the evening. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and take a bath to see if that helps, because
why?
Those contractions, they were whooping me.
Obviously, did it work the last time?
The last time it was a shower, okay? It was different. I wasn't in the shower. I sat in the bath. I thought it was gonna help. I mean, it did help. Pain-wise, it did help. It took off, like, the slightest edge of the contractions. But, I mean, I'd take the slightest edge over nothing. So, I'm like, okay, cool. But my thing is, it still never got to the point where they were consistent enough to be like, hey, let's go to the hospital. So I'm in there, and mind you, it was like 5 something in the evening. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and sit in the bath. I actually fell asleep in there at one point, and then woke back up, and the contraction.
Living dangerously.
I was living on the edge. I was.
Now let's be clear that her due date was what, 4 days before, 5 days before. So she was past her due date. But carry on.
Okay. Anyways, so I had fallen asleep in there at some point and woke up, and these contractions were hitting hard. So I'm like, okay, let me sit up and start timing them again. And I'm timing them, and they're still like, 6 minutes apart, 7 minutes apart. They're still not consistent. Next thing you know, I put some more water in the tub to warm it back up, because like I said, I fell asleep, so the water was a little cold. So I was putting some more warm water in it to warm the water back up. Next thing you know, I feel this one contraction. It hurts so bad. I'm in the tub, and I'm like this in the tub, literally screaming for my mother. I'm screaming, Mom! And my dad's downstairs. Shantae, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not okay. And then I hear my aunt yelling upstairs to my mom that it's time to go.
So at this point, I already knew it was too late when I came down and heard her hollering. But carry on. Go ahead.
My husband busted into the bathroom like he was the SWAT team. It scared me. I was trying to get dressed. My mom was like, yeah, I don't even know why you guys are trying to fight with that. She said, put on this robe and let's go. And mind you, the robe was like mid-length. And it was so cold outside, but honestly, at the time, I wasn't even thinking about that.
There was in there word about bras and underwear and.
I was trying to get dressed. I knew it was cold because I was gonna put on some pants, some sweatpants, and a shirt. But no, my girl said no. Just go ahead and set those down. And she brought me her robe. I had a robe and underwear on. That was it. That was it. So my mom, she's helping me get to the car, and I'm sitting there freaking out, and I'm like, Mom, I can't do it. She said, stop it. And she said, I don't want to hear it. She said, you can't. I said, I need to push. She said, you can't push. And I'm sitting there wanting to cry, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this hurts so bad. I mean, now it's funny. At the time, I was absolutely freaking out. Without a doubt, that was the scariest thing I have ever been through. Ever. And so my mom helps me get into the car. You know, they're getting the bags in, and we head down the street. Didn't even make it out of the neighborhood. I started sitting up like this because we were in my dad's car, and he has the Ford Explorer, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't know, there's a middle gap between the second row seats. So it's driver, passenger, seat, and a seat, and then there's a middle gap. So I'm pushing up on the armrest and on the side of the door, and I said, Mom, I need to push. And she turned around, she said, Shantae, you can't push. And I said, I can't hold it. And so, you know, I pushed one time, her head was coming out. And I'm like this on her head. And I said, Mom, something's coming out. I feel something.
She was shocked.
Next thing you know,
she didn't know what it was.
I didn't. I was so scared because at the time, you know, it hurt so much. I didn't even know if I was feeling me. I didn't know because I couldn't feel really anything because I don't know why. I don't know where that because was leading to. I have no excuse. I don't know why. So my mom, she turns on the little overhead light. She turned back and she looked. She said, yeah, you're going to have to pull over. We're pulled over on the side of the street.
Like it's at the stop sign.
Because like our neighborhood, it's a neighborhood inside of a neighborhood. So we're over here and we're outside of the main entrance, at the very main entrance of my neighborhood. And we're pulled over on the side. My dad's trying to call 911. They're not answering. So my dad and my husband are both trying to call 911. And mind you, one push, her head was coming out. So then my mom, she's like, okay. She was telling my husband to get up because I had to lay back to push again, but I couldn't. So then she had me flip over. And I'm on all fours in the back seat, holding my arm across the gap and then holding the other armrest. And she basically, like, yeah, it was a push, but she basically, like, just slipped out and she was just there. And I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And there I was, no gloves, no nothing. Just because when I looked back and saw the head, I was like, well, all right, so this is happening. So I mean,
but I will say that my labor with Selena did not hurt as much with Luca, and thank goodness I only pushed twice with her, because with Luca,
But that's because it's that second baby. So subsequent babies, you know, they come quicker. So labor isn't usually as long. But I mean, and that was my fault because I told her, I said, oh, you know, when they get to be consistent, because they were consistent with Luca, but I should have known every pregnancy is different. And they never became consistent with her. But I know now for number 3 to say,
No.
You also said no to number 2, but okay.
She's so lucky I couldn't reach her lip because I was going to do it.
I know now to say when the contractions become consistent enough or when the pain becomes unbearable. Because, so I delivered my grandbaby. I mean, you know, and what was funny, so we get to the hospital, baby comes out, and I make sure she's breathing and everything. She's breathing, mom's fine, baby's fine. So I'm like, okay, so I tell her, I said, open up your robe, put her on her chest, covered her up with the robe, so she's skin to skin. Had dad get a hat for her to cover up her head, and we just went on to the hospital. And by then, my son-in-law had gotten through the 911. So I was like, just tell them forget it. Like, at this point, just forget it.
It had already taken too long.
Yeah, mom's fine, baby's fine, just forget it. We can make it to the hospital. So we go to the hospital. I go in the ER, and I say to the nurse at the I guess at like the check-in counter or whatever, and I said, hey, so we're gonna need a wheelchair and somebody from OB because my daughter just delivered her baby, you know, on the side of the road. They were like, oh my God. I'm like, no, hold on. I got her. Mom's fine. Baby's fine. Baby's breathing. Baby's pink. Baby's crying, you know, but mom hasn't passed the placenta yet. So picture this. She is in the car with the robe on with the baby inside, but the umbilical cord was still attached because the placenta was inside. So they come out. Now, mind you, I told them all this. So they come out, and then somebody attempts to take the baby out of her arms. Yeah, no, they're still attached. No, you can't do that. So then they had to strategize how they were going to get her out, and it was a whole to-do, okay? It was a whole to-do.
We got it done. One nurse had this leg, one nurse had this leg, and they helped me slide out of the car onto the ground to step into the wheelchair. So it was fine. It was fine.
A whole to-do. A whole to-do. But, you know, I'm just glad that, you know, everything happened the way it did, and, you know, everybody was healthy and happy, and somebody got to go on and be quite the celebrity, okay?
We were famous in the hospital. I'm telling you guys, I told the story about 7 times because every time there was a new face, oh my gosh, so I heard about you and the baby. You're a rock star. And I'm like, I don't feel like a rock star right now. I was like, I'm tired.
But you are. Birthing a baby is crazy. It's no easy feat, you know, birthing a baby. And birthing a baby with nothing is no easy feat, okay?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you do what you got to do. And then I remember, because I had told her, you know, with Lyric, I didn't get to the hospital in time to get any kind of epidural or nothing. Because, honey, I'm all for pain medicine, okay? Give me the epidural. I had it the 3 times before. It was wonderful. And I was like, yep, I'm going to do it again. So with Lyric, I didn't have time. And, you know, just thinking about it, it's like, oh, my God, like, I can't do that. I can't do that. And in the moment, I was so afraid. And I didn't have a nurse that was comforting or that was explaining things to me. Because even though I'm a nurse, at that time, I had never worked in women's services, postpartum. I hadn't done postpartum or labor and delivery yet. So I didn't know what the rules were. You know, everything I knew about childbirth came from the little bit I learned in nursing school and my own personal experiences. So I had no idea what was going on. And I didn't have a nurse that was supportive and talking to me and helping me calm down. The doctor done yelled at me and all kind of stuff, you know, but I didn't want her to have to go through that experience. So that's why, you know, I'm kind of glad it happened the way it did, and thank goodness that everything turned out okay, because so many things could have went wrong. But you know, hey, she here, she happy, she healthy, and that's that, you know. So but with the whole not having any kind of anesthesia thing, even though for me I wasn't prepared, and I know you weren't prepared, in the moment you be like, oh my God, like I'm about to die. But when it's over and it's said and done, like you look back and you be like, oh,
that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't really that bad. It wasn't that bad. You know, in the moment, and for me, I know, for me, it was them contractions more than anything. Those contractions, I get nervous just thinking about it. Those contractions, yeah, they something serious. But the actual birthing process, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I think I was more nervous than anything. So, you know, with her,
that you passed that down.
Yeah, I was say
greatly appreciated.
Yeah, but you, I didn't want to freak out. Like, I couldn't freak out because I knew you were already freaking out, so I couldn't freak out.
I sat there in shock, guys. I sat there in shock for so long. I feel like it didn't even actually settle in until I was laying in the ER with her on my chest. Everyone's talking around me. I'm hearing 3 different conversations. One lady's trying to ask me something. The other one's telling me to do different things. And I was sitting there and I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm sitting here with with a naked baby on me right now. I don't even know what happened. Just wait, because and I do really appreciate, and I wish I knew her name, but I don't. She told the one nurse that kept asking me questions, because I do understand that they have to get those questions, especially because, you know, that wasn't even the hospital that I had planned to go to. It was the closest, so I understand that she had a job to do. I do get that.
Absolutely.
But her asking the way that she was and asking so many times, seeing that I'm obviously out of it, I still don't even feel like I have my feet on the ground yet. And there was this one nurse that said, hey, give her a second. She literally just had a baby. And mind you, she had a baby a pretty traumatic way than most do. And I can't remember what the other nurse said, but I do remember that the nurse that I'm saying I was grateful for, she replied back, well, I don't feel like that's the most important thing right now, because she hasn't even passed the placenta yet. Because I was still down in the ER, and they're asking me questions, trying to get me to pass it. It just, they were trying to do so many things all at once, and I was still just sitting there, just staring at the wall. Not even, and then mind you, my mom and my husband weren't there, so it was just me and the baby, surrounded by all these strangers, having so many different conversations. That's and I'm hearing so many different voices. I was just sitting there just in shock, and I had just checked out at that point. I was just sitting there just staring, so I didn't know what to do. I was freaked out. That was crazy. I was really freaked out.
It's a lot, but I'm glad that you had that nurse there too that was an advocate for you, because I mean, I think sometimes, you know, as healthcare providers, you know, they forget that, hey, this is a human. And especially if it's not something that you've personally been through before, you don't know what it's like, you know. So in those types of situations, it's I'm very glad that in that situation that you had somebody there that could advocate for you. I didn't go in because I knew that once you had the baby, it was only one person can go. So, you know, I knew that. So that's why I didn't go. So we kind of just, honestly, we just dumped them off at the ER, and we was like, all right, well, call us. You know, all right. You know, that was it. But I'm glad that you had somebody there that could advocate for you like that. That's awesome. But yeah, that's how our little Selena got here, honey, okay? She came on her own time, in her own way, okay? And let me tell you something. So, sis has been showing out the whole time she's been here. She only been Earthside a month and 17 days. Okay, so that's what 47 days. And when I tell you that for 47 days, well, I ain't gonna say 47 because they were in the hospital for 2 days. 45 that I know of. Okay.
No, she was good the first couple of days we were home. She didn't cry out like how she does now. She doesn't. It looks like one of those agree to disagree moments now.
We just gonna have to agree to disagree. But sis shows out, okay?
Yeah.
Sis shows all the way out. But I mean, this will be a heck of a story to tell her when she gets older.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to tell her this story.
I told her we're gonna rename that stop sign Selena's Corner. That's what we're gonna call it.
And start a petition.
You're gonna start a petition to call it Selena's Corner.
Yes, I am. I feel like I deserve it. Even as like a little temporary situation.
Not a temporary situation.
Just put one little green and just clip it on there, just for like a week.
I clip it on. The thing about that was though, it's like, you know, that's the stuff that you see on TV, you know, and then the people call 911 and 911 will be like, oh, do this and do that and do this. Yeah, well, our 911 was like, we busy.
They didn't even answer the phone.
Yeah, they was busy. It was busy till like the 4th or 5th call. They were busy. So, yeah, so we just, and I mean, good thing that I knew enough, because I had a little stint in labor and delivery. Good thing I knew enough, you know, which, honestly, if I didn't know enough, it would have been what it was, you know, because luckily everything went fine. Baby was okay. So that's the good thing, that, you know, the baby was fine. But, I mean, hey, she was coming.
I'm also glad that worked out well, because I was nervous pretty much the whole time, because I knew that I had the anterior placenta.
Oh, yeah.
So I was already pretty nervous the whole time, because I'm like, hey, anything could happen.
But they would have told you if they seen an ultrasound that it was moving down, like over the cervix or something like that. So the fact that they didn't, that they didn't tell you that it moved or that it was growing and covering the cervix, I wasn't too worried about it. Because I knew you'd be okay. Well, yeah, you should have been okay since it wasn't covering the cervix. But, all in all, everything turned out great. Okay, and I think that I deserve, because she would have had, with the hospital bill for delivery, it's, astronomical. So, I didn't even get $20.
I definitely got a good discount since she wasn't even actually born there. $20.
I ain't even get $20. That's how you people do you. You know how they say it be your own kids?
Anyways, y'all. We're digressing.
No, we ain't digressing. No, we ain't digressing. Talking about my payment.
Listen, I'll have my people call your people and get something sorted out.
It sounded to me like it's one of those you'll never be broke as long as I owe you type situations, so.
That is precisely what it is.
Yeah, I'm not really going to count on that, but,
I'm good for it.
All right, so. On that note. That is.
I am a hoot. Oh. She thinks I'm funny because she laughs at my jokes too. She's not feeling it right now. She's a little sleepy. She needs to go to sleep. She'll laugh in the morning. She'll laugh in the morning.
It's itching.
She will laugh in the morning because that was funny.
All right. So on that note, okay. We want to thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us.
Sorry.
Yeah, she done hit me like 3 times already. Okay, it's only twice, but
because it's like this one that's all the way in the front. This one loves to fall down like the middle of my face. So I was struggling a little bit. I was struggling.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the struggle today. Thank you for chatting with us. We really, really, really appreciate you, and we would also appreciate it if you would like, comment, and subscribe. I got it. And tag a mom. Tell a mom to come hang out with us. And anything that you would like us, if there's anything that you would like us to talk about or like us to share our experiences on, let us know. Shoot us a DM. We're on Instagram, The Quimby Chronicles. You can... Are we on Facebook?
No.
I think I ask this every week. I don't really know which platform. So we are on Instagram as The Quimby Chronicles. We're on TikTok as The Quimby Chronicles. And we're on YouTube, of course. We're on Spotify. So check us out. And like I said, tag another mom. Or, we're going to start soon doing episodes where we do features. So if you would like to be featured, let us know. Like if you have a cool birth story, you have cool mom hacks, whatever.
Oh, I love the mom hacks.
Yeah, whatever. Yes. Tag us. Let us know. Comment. All that stuff. And then share it with a friend. Okay? All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope your kids don't drive you too crazy. I hope that you take some time for yourself to do something just for you. Not something for the children.
Self-care.
Not
we
something.
Talked about it. We talked about that self-care.
Not something for the husband or the boyfriend or whoever. Something for you. Something for mom. Something that 5 years ago you couldn't live without, and now you haven't done it because since you've had kids. So dig deep into that memory, into the pre-kid memory. Dig deep. Pick something and do it. That's what I want y'all to do this week because I'm sure gonna do it. Okay, gonna do it. And you too.
Yes,
she ain't gonna do it.
I probably wasn't. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I probably wasn't.
She ain't gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it. But I want you to do it. I want you to be better than her. Okay? Be better than her.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And we will see you next week for another chat with the Quimby Chronicles. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.